Ebro Darden. Now, Ebro has been in the music industry for a long time by way of being a music director at Hot 97. So about 10 years, 10, 16 years ago, like a while back, right, he became an actual radio personality. So he stopped, doing that job so he could be a radio personality for better or worse. So I feel like it was like around the 2012, 2013-ish. I feel like it was around the time when at least around the time when he had to run in with Lil Uzi, and Ebro was so wrong. Like he single handedly probably bought down the brand of Hot 97 with his inability to one be able to look into the future. I'm sorry, have foresight and the ability to understand what's about to be hot, what's happening, right? A lot of older people don't realize no matter what, no matter how old you get, the world is ever changing. You know what I'm saying? And it's always the person who has the best understanding of how to adapt to any change. Because it's always going to be happening. And with technology, those changes will continue to happen in a way where it will affect society. One of the best classes I ever took back when I was a young knucklehead. Yeah, I was such a terrible college student. I spent most of my time arguing with my son's mother and just hanging out with her. And I mean, I would do all right, but I could have did so much better in school if I wasn't like in a relationship and actually had priorities. Like a lot of people, like yo, your life takes on such a different shape when you have priorities. But anyway, that's a sidebar. So anyway, I took a class called sociology, and it was like sociology technology, and it was all these pretty much how technology changed the world at every turn. So the printing press is one, right? The industrial revolution, because these two things when they happen, when society advanced with this technology. So for example, being able to print on a large scale made to where you can hand out more literature, you can make more books. People used to have to handwrite books, right? So of course, if you had to handwrite a book, I mean, a book was way more valuable, right? And not only that, it could only be with so many. So before then, people didn't read. So with that changed the world, right? And then we had the industrial revolution where we had this pretty much it changed how we looked at time, how we look at human beings, and it was like again, it changed how people looked at one another, right? For better or worse, right? So technology is always having this impact. So with Ebro wasn't able to understand, okay, the technology has changed how a superstar comes about. Ebro's from the era where you would have met that superstar in person, met that artist in person, and maybe saw them perform at a showcase. Maybe you would have seen them at some kind of underground John or talent show, whatever. But you would have seen them in person to know about them, or maybe you heard about them word of mouth. Whereas now, an artist can have who knows unlimited amount of music videos that they already made by themselves. Especially with the advent of AI, when you understand, okay, how to make your own AI stuff that actually looks good, and cause that's the next wave now. We're like, AI videos are only going to be more entertaining, and the cool thing about that is the fact that there's no budget for the visuals in a video, right? So the biggest problem probably is getting the people in the video to move, in a fluid, natural way and stuff like that, and the details. But anywho, but that's where things are going. So, and I know I'm taking a long route to get to the point that Ebro, one of the reasons why he lost his job, and I'm kind of building on academics' point, is the fact that you don't really actually understand where this world is going, and you can't really be a part of it, and maybe you shouldn't be a part of it, which is why you lost your job. All right, not only that, so being as though people like Ebro, your audience was based off of you being on the radio, right? So the people who listen to the radio are people who are conditioned to just leave a station on, and whoever's on is on. Whereas if you're a content creator, that person is actually checking for you. And you've had all this time to adjust to the fact that we are in a content based media world now, where people want to see like content. It's hard to explain content, but this is where we are. If you're not a person who's able to post things online and they get billions, millions of impressions and stuff like that, and people are commenting on it and it's getting views, their channel. And I mean, I don't watch it, but academics always pulls up, let us know those numbers are abysmal. Like it's almost no point of a celebrity even going on there, right? So, anyways, going back to where these people come from. So you come from an era where like, yo, people, you kind of been forced on people. Like people weren't whenever people don't actually like you or like your show. You know what I mean? Whereas like if you're like say someone like me, no, every detail counts. I'm performing this shit. You understand? I'm really kicking these bars here. But anyway, so I think tensions are getting high, right? And I think for the most part, this little basement show, you know what I'm saying? Because now we got Laura Stiles, Rosenberg, and Ebro, you know what I mean, in a studio somewhere in the Bronx, trying to record a show, and like yo, they have a conversation about basically the whole Charlamagne and academics interview, and what's funny is with that conversation people are kind of doing the same thing they did with Kendrick and Drake, where it's like I'm gonna go with the person that maybe I like a little more and I know a little more. Because not everyone follows academics, but I think a lot of people kind of sleep on or don't know the power that he has in the industry. Like academics gets paid to not speak on people. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said he was gonna make sure Lil Baby got cold, he really been cooling that nigga down. Pause. He's been cooling him. You gotta realize, yo, only takes one person to start a narrative, and then that narrative can spread. Like I said before, one person who's famous has a big channel. Not even that. You don't even need to have a big channel. One person can make a video, then another content creator sees it and says, you know what, I'm gonna talk about that, and I like that point. I never thought of it like that. And then boom, now you have thousands and thousands of videos on this very topic. So basically, impressions talking about that very subject. So definitely, so the media definitely has a lot of power. So anyway, so the main point that Rosenberg was sticking to was the fact that I did not know that Charlamagne was that deep in with Rock Nation, and you got Ebro trying to argue that basically that just because they're doing business together does not mean that you can't be objective. That's the furthest thing from the truth. If you have a financial interest in anything, why no, especially if you're a media personality, you're going to do everything you can to protect that. Again, you have a financial interest that you can't say that, because Ebro starts to argue that, oh, well, it doesn't matter, I can say what I want. And academics made this point too about when he's talking about that shit, he sounds defensive. And whenever someone just jumps out there and just kind of disses you, because he tells Ebro, tells Rosenberg, when they're having the conversation, and Rosenberg says, "Oh man, I didn't know that Charlamagne was so deep in with Rock Nation," and Ebro won't go. You don't got money to invest. Basically, you're too broke to invest in shit. And they have like a real conversation, right? And both of them seemed as though they weren't ready for the conversation to go in that direction. You know what I'm saying? And again, this shit is just crazy. They're just seeing all these people who were the biggest cheerleaders. Not only that, so for example, I'm like, damn, even with Hov, right? I'm like, wow, this is the hardest time, like PR wise, that Hov has really ever had. The fact that, first of all, we've always been a sucker for any Jay-Z freestyle, like random bars. That nigga kicked a long ass freestyle. That nigga gave you like mad content. I think that freestyle was like 5 minutes, yo. Like a 5-minute freestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like he kicked the whole battle rap round. And real talk, I don't think nothing was wrong with it. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I wasn't expecting you to have your hair out. Now this is why you should have social media. Because if Hov had social media, you know what I'm saying, I would have known. Oh shit, Hov had his dookie locks taken out. Which I did not know you could do that. I think you should have just skipped right to the season. So I was happy to see that for the 30th anniversary drawing that he popped out with the season. So shout out to that. Shout out to Chang. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you, bro.
I'm with you, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the video.
Like the video.
Subscribe to the channel.
Shout out to the channel.
Like the video.
You feel me?
I love you. Shout out to Chang.
You feel me? Call Big Mama.
Isaiah, get out of the car.
No, I said get out of the car.
So,
right now. Call Big Mama.
I want to play this one more time.
Don't say I can touch you. I said get out of the car.
I want to play this one more time. To break this down. Just chop his fable one more time, yo.
Money to invest in things. No one asked me to be a part of it. So I don't know. But I'm just saying,
Ebro, I have money to invest in things. No one asked me to be a part of anything.
well then,
Because I'm not gonna roll over. They know I'm too much of a risk. I am seen as, I believe, a risk to be too close to people. Either that or
What are you talking about? Here's shit that losers say. It's like only like ugly niggas say shit like this. What are you talking about? Like when people, it's one thing to say because this happened or I've done this. Like I cannot stand when people who are uninteresting try to find ways to be interesting. Rosenberg might be the most uninteresting person to ever be in media. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like a, you know what? I don't know if he's a nice guy. I feel like listen, because a lot of bald dudes are really unhappy. All right, maybe if they're in good shape, might be a little different. But a lot of bald dudes are very unhappy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know, they will shite you. Like it gets very much like George Costanza, but with none of the redeeming qualities. Like no jokes. There's no laugh track. It's just like weird moments, all right? And it's hard to be. Listen, it's hard to be friends with a bald ninja. It's hard to be friends with a short ninja, and it's hard to be friends with a broke ninja. You know what I'm saying? And if they got all three going on, man, you gotta make sure you like the video. You know what I'm saying?
Like the video.
Like the video.
Subscribe to the channel.
You feel me?
Hype the video.
Chill.
I love you.
Shout out to Chang. Shout out to Chang. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So who knows what kind of person? I don't know. Actually, I take all that back. You know what? I don't know what kind of person Rosenberg is. He probably mean. He be definitely someone who don't say excuse me. You know what I'm saying? And then like looks you in the eye. You know what I mean? After he don't say excuse me, shit like that. I remember one time I saw Rosenberg in person and whatnot. It was at the one and only concert I've ever been to. It was a Schoolboy Q concert. Not even a concert. It's a show in a hall back in like 2014. And he was there for some reason. And Vince Staples was there before he was like before he was like him and everything. And it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Anyway, so he came out there and smoked some weed. And yeah, I think he bought Schoolboy Q out. So that's my you know, random memory with her Rosenberg. But anywho, so here we go in this conversation. Like this once again. Let's be clear. Yo, you don't never tell a man or speak on a man's financial situation ever. And Academics made a good point because like, yo, it's such a fucked up conversation because Ebro would know how much money you making. You know what I'm saying? And now y'all doing content and everything. Who knows how that's being divvied up? Oh my God. Oof, mercy. Anywho, let's play this clip.
they just, at least I can be grateful that quietly people think I have nothing in my pocket. But what I'm saying is, don't say it's not nothing to be asked to be part of a group to invest. Of course that's something.
Well, no.
That's legitimately being down.
No, it's being in business with people, yes, but it's not being on someone's payroll. It's not necessarily being
the
like...
word payroll is him trying to take shots. Yeah. But it is compromising. You are no longer an objective critic of... No,
I've definitely... And for that matter, right, if it's a legitimate investment. If I make a legitimate investment in something, I put my money up and there's documents signed. I say, man, like it's my money. I can say what the I want to say. It's my...
Yo, it's crazy you just threw out you don't have money to invest in me. That was wild. I didn't know. Like, you don't even have anything to invest in anything.
Well, because I haven't seen you invest in anything. So I didn't know if that's what you...
Yo, and that moment, right? I know this is not going to last very long. In that moment, Ebro had the opportunity to say, sorry. He could have said, listen, sorry. I didn't mean for it to come off that way. I like your glasses. I think they're cool. I feel like he felt like, listen, I gotta change my whole look, so I'm gonna buy mad thin aviator glasses. I'll tell you something. If you want to be a person that wears like several pairs of glasses, one thing you have to understand is that aviator glasses, I don't know, it's like a very delicate thing. Like they don't like look good, especially like wireframe aviators don't really look good on a lot of people unless you have like a very small face. You know what I'm saying? If you have like a bigger face, like ain't nothing wrong with his, like I always say that, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? I think I don't know if those glasses fit you. You know what I'm saying? And for this level of the game, you can't be wearing things that don't really fit. But anywho, like I was saying before, Ebro, the tension's been high. Ebro has lost patience for him. And you got Rosenberg, who felt so disrespected. He felt so violated, and he's bringing it back up because like he's trying to get a nigga out so we can say, "Yo, listen, nah, bro, listen, we go way back. You know what I'm saying? I've known for over 20 years and whatnot. You know what I mean? And all that also too speaks to what kind of relationship they actually got. Cause I ain't gonna lie, those damn near fighting words. Telling someone that like you don't have money to invest, and then when he spins the block, he says, I never seen you invest, and it's like, yo, like let me tell you something. The kind of person who can't say sorry, always watch that person. Because let me tell you something right now. This right here, you kind of seeing who Ebro actually is, fam. And he's not able to pick up on the fact that, yo, this don't look good. This like PR wise. This how you handle your problems. You can't say my bad. Not only that, why would you try to embarrass your mans? You know what I'm saying? Anywho.
You're doing with your money.
But that's still a crazy thing to throw at someone.
No, it's not.
You know,
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
I know. I'm telling you, no one in that world. Your cool guy club in the industry, bro. I've never been in it.
Make a phone call.
I'll be honest.
He said,
Part of
make a
me
phone
wants
call.
to be, and part of me is like, I don't like that crowd.
Well, then you got to make a decision.
I know,
If
that's
you
what
want
I'm
to
saying.
make investments with people making money, you got to make
I know.
some relationships.
I think
So do you have money to invest or not?
That's
Because if you did,
that's
you would make a phone call and be like, yo,
He said, do you got money to invest or not? Yo. You imagine because act point this out. Could you imagine at your job? Could you imagine like being at like I don't know this having just being at like a work meeting and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And then your boss just starts like talking mad shit about how much money you make. It's like, well, yeah, nigga, I know you can't afford that Tesla. Don't talk about how I'm parking out front to charge my Tesla, nigga. Because your boss knows how much you make. Your boss can find out exactly how much you make. You know what I mean? And like, it's just a wild conversation. But anyway, yeah, bro. I'm calling this joint. It's gonna last about a couple. I say about a year. Like real talk. All of them are better off on their own, honestly. Because the thing with content is this, like, yo, it's not the same as it was before, where it was getting like a consistent check. With this content thing, like, yo, you're gonna eat what you kill, and this works better when people like y'all on social media already. Like, even when they're interacting and everything, they don't realize, yo, you don't have a show. Like, you're not entertaining at all. Like, y'all, like, Ebro disrespecting his mans is pretty much, it's just as entertaining as it's going to get without, like, even with the guests, you're not entertaining. You know?
oh, what are you guys
You
working
did
on?
it again. No, that's two separate things. There's having money to invest, and then there's am I good? Either A, do I want to play those games with people, and am I good at playing those games with people? I don't think I'm particularly good at it. I don't think I'm. I do. I think I'm judgmental, and I can be like, I don't want to be a part of that crowd.
This is so crazy because it's happening again. This is the gaslighting in real time. It's like, well, you know, it's in business. It's being in business with somebody, but it's not being on somebody's payroll. What the hell is the difference? And then he also says, this is oh my God, this infuriates me because people that do this, they think you're stupid. And some of you are stupid, to be honest. The masses, a lot of these people that are just buying into this are stupid. But I feel personally insulted when they think that I'm going to buy into this. Like, I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid, all right? And then he talks about, well, if I sign them, well, how do you know, number one, that Charlamagne invested money? How do you know that? You don't know that. And this is the funny thing. You see Rock Nation, and then you see all of the other companies that were alongside it. You think Charlamagne can put up investments like that to open up a casino? Like what, they're going to ask him for like a measly $1 million or 10 million? Like, how much is Charlamagne worth? Let's say Charlamagne is worth 100 million. That's not even close to how much money you need to be able to put up bids for this type of stuff, especially if you're coming in with a couple of different investors. Like, they had Angela Rye, they had who else? They had Charlamagne. They had like 4 or 5 names. That's not enough, but they bring Charlamagne on, and they bring figures like Nas on. Why do you think the other competitors brought Nas on? Nas is from New York. Charlamagne, New York radio. They need the influence because they can influence people to vote, to like push this forward. They have political influence. Like Charlamagne and the radio show has influenced a lot of politics And they've done interviews with a lot of politicians. That's why. It's not because, oh man, I signed the money away. And payroll and being in business with somebody is the same thing. Actually, being in business is more compromising because you have a direct stake. Like, for example, being on payroll, getting paid X amount per month. And what's the difference, really? Like, this is apples and oranges. We're really arguing semantics here between payroll and in business with.
Yeah, man. So this conversation that academics and Charlamagne had, I mean, it was funny is we ain't got to a point where like y'all done lost the plot and forgot what they was talking about to begin with or what Act's problem was. Act has been very vocal about the practices of Rock Nation and the stuff they've done and speaking out about just certain things. Like, for example, the Colin Kaepernick thing. I never thought much about it, but now that I'm older, I can kind of see and understand it a little more, right? In terms of the fact that, you know what, at one point, yeah, like Jay was a supporter of Colin Kaepernick and whatnot, and like, you know, it like he has done this thing where he positions himself as if he's doing something for the people and everything, but it winds up kind of just being a thing for him. I mean, I remember Ray Daniels was talking about how like someone said to him one time, when you do business with Jay-Z, the only person who makes money in that deal is Jay-Z, right? So, like I said before, with those allegations, and even though he was going to get into trouble, but having that court case, having Jack Wright go on that show, because I mean y'all probably forgot, but you know she went on Piers Morgan and just aired it out, you know what I mean, and just went crazy and said all types of stuff about Jay-Z and his wife and stuff like that. But what that did also do is basically spark a conversation and bring up certain you know questions about like, yo, how long you known Beyonce? You know what I'm saying? Did you groom Beyonce? You know what I mean? Did you groom Foxy Brown? Stuff like that. Now, I mean, I don't feel that way. I mean, I never thought that way about his relationships with these people. And also, Foxy's always maintained that they've never had a physical relationship. You know what I mean? And they were never involved. And that's their story. Now, you know what I mean? So, you know. But Act's feeling was, it's nothing wrong with Charlamagne having done business with, you know, Jay-Z and Rock Nation. It was the fact that you have not disclosed that, right? So, for example, Hove and OVO, yo, it's a little bit of a beef right now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of an issue. Like, yo, Drake dissed Hove mad times in the album. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, even to the point where, yo, you got people having to pick sides. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like Maul from Rory and Maul, who's afraid to go to the Jay-Z show. You know what I'm saying? Old head's going to jump on him. You know what I mean? But not real talk though. So, even with that, I made me kind of think about like, yo, how far back, like how deep in is Jay-Z and Charlamagne? Because you got to realize that rappers are extremely competitive. A rapper will go out their way to make sure that you do get sabotaged, right? So now that we've seen that Jay was willing to put Kendrick up there at the Super Bowl and not just have him be out there, but make sure he performs that song. You know what I'm saying? And again, this was the PDF file anthem. The main thing people are waiting for in that song is for him to talk about how Drake is a PDF file. No lawsuits, no court cases, no victims, no proof, none of that shit. And then from the time that record came out, people have talked about that record as if it's 100% fact, and no one's ever